Obviously, there's lots of magazines you could spend your vouchers or your money on, but these ones are some of my favourite magazines based on my interests. So, Infinity, really always like to read Infinity. If you've not come across Infinity, it has been going for quite a few years now. It's on issue 76, currently $4.99. For what's in there, I do think that is good value. When you look at the price of magazines these days, it's full of good articles and often long articles and really interesting stuff. So as you can see, it's film, it's TV, it's books, it's comics, it's sci-fi leaning, but they do cover cult programs in general. Now you can see they're advertising the dark side, which is a little spoiler for something to come. It's because it's a sister magazine of this publication. Right, so just to give you an idea, as you can see, you've got news, you've got a look at this particular comic that I'm actually not familiar with. I haven't read the article yet. I look forward to reading that. You've got your letters page. Always love to read the letters page. You've got an article on Kojak. Remember Kojak with his lollipop? Had a brief singing career, didn't he, as well? But I like the show. The show was good. Robin's on the Nest. That's about I read the article. It's about his sort of films confessions. I was trying to think what the series is called. The very 70s sex comedies. You've got Confessions of a Window Cleaner, Confessions of a Driving Instructor, Confessions from Holiday Camp, I think that one's called, yeah. That kind of thing. Yes. What article is this? Sort of skips what? Oh no, that's still the same article. Yes, this is what I mean. Really interesting, in-depth articles there. Things to come, 100 years ahead of time. Bit about H.G. Wells. So yeah, you got poster. What have we got? We've got. I have to put this up. So we've got H.G. Wells, Things to Come, and then I think we've got or is it them? Oh yeah, it's them. The city's under under martial law until we annihilate them. Them being the creatures. And then you've got some reviews, some more articles. So you've got the Strangelove article. Yeah, it is highly recommended. One of my favourite magazines, that one. Now, if you're into your classic pop is a good magazine. Another one that's been going for many years. Not sure what issue they're up to now, but yeah, it's been going for quite a few years, put it this way. It leans towards 80s pop in particular, and because I myself lean towards 80s pop in particular, and also alternative 80s, it's a very good match. They do cover pop in general now, though, so obviously you've got a look at retrospectives on classic pop moments, but you've also got what's currently going on with classic pop artists. So for example, our cover star there. What else have we got? So obviously we've got news, we've got interviews, John Coleshaw talking about his pop life, brand new heavies, Phil Collins vinyl box sets, all size covered, so they'll look at various releases. You've got the Purple Rain DVD, so the film. Now I haven't seen that. That is, I've seen bits of it, but I want to see the whole thing. I've heard things about it, and it makes me want to see it. Apparently, it's basically, whenever artists seem to make films, as in musical artists, they're usually pretty strange, and that in my book is a good thing. Yeah. So I want to actually see that. I've never actually seen it yet. So yeah, Jimmy Somerville, legendary. So you've got album reviews, Tears and Fears. Ultravox. Yeah, so highly recommended if you're a fan of pop music. So obviously, in particular retro music. So this is top 20 rarities and collectibles. This is really interesting. So see if you can find, you may have some of these rare albums. yeah, so really good magazine, really well written, really interesting. Highly recommend. And they got some current tours as well, but they're looking at Girls Aloud because obviously they've recently been touring. And Banana Rum on the end of the Culture Club as well. So that's that one. Now we had a spoiler for this, Dark Side. Yes, this is up to issue 259 now. Wow, yeah. So if you don't guess from the cover, this is great for October because it is horror. Yeah, this is one of my favourite horror magazines. It's got an article I'm looking forward to reading, Haunted by James Herbert. Recently got into reading James Herbert books. Actually, it looks like it's taken a look at all of his books in general. So I'm going to find this very interesting indeed. So that's the letters page. You've got a look at Frankenstein movies and other horror movies. So yeah, as you can see, you've got a good mix of short and long articles. You've got reviews, as you'd expect, the latest horror releases. So this looks at horror films, old and new. You get a good mix. And also horror books, horror comics, maybe even horror video games, anything that falls under the horror umbrella. Castle Freak, I remember seeing that film. I haven't seen it for ages. Night of the Living Dead, a legendary horror film. Monster Mash. So yeah, highly recommend that if you're a fan of horror. But you know what, as it's October and as I like reading them anyway, I thought I'd get another horror one. Scream. Now I don't think I've bought Scream before, physical copies. I think I may have read it on the Readily app. I do like to buy physical copies and I like to keep them. It's a nice collecting thing. I really do like reading physical magazines. Obviously the prices do add up. And also there's the convenience of, so there's the saving money and there is the convenience of using an app like Readily. This is not sponsored advertisement or anything, but I generally do recommend it if you want to save a bit of money on the magazines. They can literally get, they've got thousands on offer. I'll put a link in the description. And yeah, you can save a bit of money, and obviously it's very portable if you're like going away somewhere and you can't take lots of physical magazines with you. I always like physical magazines, definitely, but there is a good reason also for apps like this. There's other alternatives, but Readly is the one I've been using. I have one reason to promote it as well, because if you do sign up through my link below, I can get 2-3 months, I think it is currently, of using the app. But yeah, that's just a little aside if you're interested. So yeah, oh, God of Pain. So Scream, this is my first physical copy I'm owning, and I've already had to flick through. I look forward to actually reading it in depth and detail, but it looks very good as well. Lots of interesting articles. We've got The Howling. That was a satire of werewolf films. I haven't seen it for a very long time. Really interesting articles like this. So VHS ate my brain. Copyright warning. Trailers. Dress to Kill. Oh, we missed something out there. Oh, the Hitcher series. Yeah, haven't seen that. Not sure if it's my thing. And then you've got the classic creature features. Very interested. That is definitely my thing. Very nice long article. Like Demon Knights. I remember the Demon films. Quite good actually. I quite enjoyed them. They lean quite a bit to the comedy, but I have some generally, I guess, scary movies with very good makeup from what I remember. I did quite a few. Bad Moon Rising. So again, we're looking at werewolves. A bit more on the Howling. Now we've got some classic movies. So yeah, just to give you a taste of what's inside, let's go from the back just to finish off. Oh, the Megan film, I need to see that. I like the look of that. Heathers. About the Psycho franchise, we'll see Alfred Hitchcock. So yeah, it looks like there's a lot of really good articles in there. That one is £5.95. And again, the quality of the articles, I mean, it's like reading a book, you know, there's so much to read. So, although obviously magazines like this have gone up a lot, if you can afford them, or perhaps you can try and get vouchers like I do, yeah, they are worth it. You know. Lastly, we go to video games, retro games. So I do like reading the magazines about current video games, but I also like, I like how it says old, they've always put that. I also like retro games magazines, and this is one of my favourite. Haven't read it for a little while, but I would always like to give it a read. So this has got about the evolution of Ridge Racer, for example. I mean, any classic games you can think of will be featured throughout the run of this magazine. I haven't got my glasses. I think that is £5.90. Looks like, yeah, so a bit of a random price there, but yeah, not quite £6. But once again, I mean, it's got the news and reviews that you'd expect. Has a mix of short articles, also some very long articles. Very excited about the new Worms game. So it's going to be anniversary edition of Worms Armageddon with some updated features. Going to have online play for the first time. Ridge Racer, one of my favourite racing games. Really good on the N64. Should have a bit about, I'm guessing, the arcade versions as well. Look forward to reading that article. So it's a nice long one on Ridge Racer there. Oh yeah, very long actually. We've got Commodore 16 there. We've got a Zelda advertisement for the latest Zelda game on the Switch. Wonder Boy, a nice Wonder Boy picture. I love the close-up pictures, like big pictures of retro games. Flashpoint, I believe that was a game that never was released. It was like a version of Tetris for the Mega Drive. Didn't come out in Konami arcade games, because at one time in particular, Konami were very big in the arcades, with some real classics, such as Track and Field, probably the one that I've played most. Paperboy 2. That's a great picture and moment of a game. I like that when they capture a certain moment of the time. Samus about to take on the Hand in Super Smash Bros. N64 version. We got a bit about Die Hard Arcade. I have played a few versions of the Die Hard Arcade. Virtua Cop 2. Beyond Good and Evil is one of my favourite games. Really enjoyed that. David Wise interview about the PSP. Castlevania Dominus Collection. Oh yeah, the Evercade. Very interested about the Evercade. So you can get them for about 100 quid. And you can play a lot of classic games on them. Do like the idea of them, I've got to say. You got a homebrewers section, so that's always good. More about Racing Revolution. There's your mailbag letters page. Very nice poster there. What game is that from? Elite Beats Agents. I don't think I've played that. Yeah. And End Game. And unfortunately I folded up the corner somehow. But yeah. Really good collection.